Good morning, fellow viewers. This morning I've decided to go it a different way. I'm in the garden, I'm at home, and as you know, the one who is doing this is my mother, and I'm in the process of assisting her to plant. And when we go for home, or when we come home, we all return to factory setting. This is where I've grown up. I was brought up here, and I can't remember when I last did this. This could have been 20 years ago. And among the people who have profited from this corona quarantine is my mother, because I think we put together this period of 14 days, she will have enjoyed my presence more than ever before. Now I want us to reflect quickly on the readings of this day. As the prophet Jeremiah in the first reading today, in chapter 11, is talking about the condemnation that he receives even when he is convinced that he is innocent. Remember that Jeremiah, during the time of exile, told the people not to make alliances with other nations and just to submit and just do what their oppressors will demand of them. Some were taking them to Assyria, to Babylon, and for him, he would let alone escape to Egypt. And Jeremiah, telling the people just what they need is to keep their certificates of their land, the title deeds, and they would plant them over the corners, and later on, when they are back, maybe after 40 years, after 70 years, they will be able to relocate. And this, for you who know, mega static. Now, if and you know, when you are not doing it with an expert, you always give instructions along the way. Now, the prophet Jeremiah, in a period of 40 years, had told the people, when you are taken out to exile, you should not be worried, because God will restore you. And if you look at us, especially the Catholics, when you are given the sacrament of confirmation, they will slightly slap you. This was a pagan practice that was copied from the Assyrians and the Babylonians. Whenever they were showing the territories of their land, they would take their children to the corners and they would beat them heavily. And every child who was shown by his father where the territory reached, they would plant a stone and he would be beaten in a way that he would not forget, even if it were 50 years were to pass. And therefore, Jeremiah, looking at some of these practices made by the pagans, was telling them, you only need to note the extent of your territories. And the people thought that he had been corrupted, and people thought that he had been infiltrated. He was part of the infiltrated army by the foreigners, and that is why he was demanding that they become, they accept what the people who are taking them to exile will demand. And he is telling the Lord this morning, Lord, look at my oppressors. Look at those who are suspicious about me. Look at those who are treating me uncomfortably. And he knows, and he's looking forward that the Lord will save him. We know that Jeremiah, later on in 583 BC, will, in 590, I know when you're in the garden you forget a few things, but all the same, Jeremiah would go and escape into Egypt, and later on will die there. He is telling the Lord, you are my source of refuge, and perhaps together with the psalmist, Psalms 7, would say, my refuge is in the Lord. I hope in the Lord. It is the Lord that will take care of me. And I think at this moment, when things are running unusually, we need to put our trust and our hope in the Lord. It is the Lord who will protect us. It is the Lord who will guide us. It is the Lord who will lead us. And in John, as usual, you know, there is always a double message in John. Yesterday, he was talking about the divinity of Jesus. And today, he is making the people, the Pharisees and the others, talk about the humanity of Jesus. Because the two, you know, that Jesus is perfectly human and perfectly divine. And he is saying that people have been told to go and arrest him. And once they get there, they are unable to arrest him. And among them is Nicodemus, the doctor of the law. And when they come, they are asking, why didn't you arrest this man? And they are saying, no man has ever spoken like this man. So they are talking of him as man, as prophet. Others are even doubting whether he is a Messiah. Where is truly the origin of this Messiah? And John would like that as he develops his theology, the two go together. The humanity of Jesus and the divinity of Jesus. And remember, for John, who is different from the synoptic gospels, he is talking about the word made flesh, God, divinity that has come among humanity, and among men, God is there dwelling among them. And he would want us to develop with Jesus, who is this word that took flesh, that is growing like any other ordinary human being, and also the divinity that is manifesting itself. He has spoken to the people, he has talked to the people, and the people have started becoming convinced about him slowly by slowly. And this is why those people, the temple guards who have been sent to go and arrest him, take a negative message. We are unable to arrest him because the people will beat us up. And people are asking, have you started believing this man? And this is the Jesus who is given to us. We need to develop our faith even the most difficult times, because Jesus did not stop preaching the word of God even when the soldiers were around. Sometimes we feel like these moments when we are not allowed to go to church, when we are not going to make I was testing whether it is going to work for Sunday, and I think this is not the best option, so tomorrow I'll look for another person if we are to get it in a professional way. But all the same, as long as you get us where you are, it's no problem. So to end this, we say that the divinity of Jesus, as demonstrated by John, continues to develop even as the humanity of Jesus is being drawn to our attention. So we are going to pray this morning that God protects each one of us as we continue moving with the quarantine, as we continue obeying the government, so that we do not, after the corona quarantine is over, that we do not continue nursing wounds and injuries in our hearts and even on our bodies. Let us obey. When we are told to be at home at 7, let us kindly do so. People will ask, what shall my children eat? Or you people who are looking for the total lockdown, you have the resources. But no, it is an attitudinal change that is required of all of us. It's a change of events. You know,